which is just right off of Iron Mountain Road. So between 1876 and 1930 in the Black Hills, more than 400 small mining towns popped up and disappeared. 1876 was the Black Hills Gold Rush, the start of the Black Hills Gold Rush, and Spokane was actually founded in 1890, so just a couple years after the gold rush started. A few people came to this area and found a little bit of gold, so a bunch of people rushed to Spokane hoping that they would find a big profit in gold. Ended up not finding so much gold, but found other traces of silver, copper, zinc, mica, and graphite. And in 1927, the town actually brought in a little over $114,000, and that is in today's dollars. And this helped build a schoolhouse and update buildings in the town. And after this year, they were hoping that the town would really kind of hit it off and start to grow. But unfortunately, the materials that they're mining ran out, and they weren't making a profit anymore. So in 1940, the town was pretty much abandoned. A few smaller companies in the 1950s tried to revive the mines. I think there were about 2 or 3 mines that they had there, but they didn't have much luck because there just weren't enough resources in these mines. So then instead of mining here, a few other companies actually tried using this abandoned area to dump hazardous materials, but it was illegal and they got caught, so they ended up not being able to do that anymore. There was actually one man who stayed in the town until the 1980s. They called him the Watchman, but he was just a guy who had spent his whole life in Spokane and didn't want to leave. So when you go to the town today, the newest building that you will see there is the Watchman's house. And then after the town was abandoned, the Forest Service came and burned down a lot of the buildings just because they were structurally unsafe, didn't want anyone to get hurt. So they came and burned down a lot of the buildings, but a few of them do remain today. So where it's at, if you take Highway 16A and then turn onto Iron Mountain Road, if you keep going down, you'll find Forest Service Road 330. And it's kind of a small turnoff, maybe has room for 2 or 3 cars on it, and you just park and then walk down for 5-10 minutes on the trail, and then you start seeing some old buildings there. So at this location, there are 2 geocaches. I don't know if any of you guys know what geocaching is, but basically you have a coordinate system and you go to look for a little treasure and you write your name down and then leave it for the next person to find. So that's a pretty popular thing to do in the Black Hills especially. So this might be something that's kind of fun for the ICPC folks to come do. Like I said, a lot of the buildings were burned down, but a few of them do remain today. So like this picture right here, this wasn't the Watchman's house, but it was one of the managers of the mine there. And that building's remaining today, so you can go in. Some of the buildings aren't very safe, but you can still see them. They're pretty fun. There's actually, and I didn't know this until I started my research, but there's ghost town hunting in the Black Hills, and I guess it's, I don't know, kind of popular where you just go and see if you can find one of these 400 small ghost towns and find the remains or see if you can find any treasures there. And Spokane is one of the more popular destinations for that activity. And then not only that, but it's a really cool photography area. I actually took a few of my friends there a couple of weeks ago, and we took some pictures there. I'm not a good photographer, but I like doing it. So these are some of my pictures, except for, so the one on the left, I talked about the schoolhouse that was built in 1927. This was actually the schoolhouse, and it must have fallen down within the last year or 2 because all the research I found, this picture wasn't there. This I took myself a couple weeks ago, so it must have fallen down recently. So yeah, that's when it was still standing, and then after it collapsed. There's lots of old cars. My friends and I had a fun time taking all these pictures. But yeah, so yeah, they have a car up on the left called the Beast, so that was kind of fun to take pictures by. And then just a lot of old rusted cars. Some of them aren't even all the way together anymore. Yeah, my friends scooped them off. of the other pictures I took. So the one on the top left, this was a well that we found, and it was pretty deep, probably a good 15, 20 feet deep. That was kind of cool to find. We actually had to take off the lid to find that one. This here was the manager's house, and you can actually still go into this. There are a few areas that are probably not the best places to step on, but we had a fun time exploring that. And then the bottom left, you can't see it too well, but we went off the trail a little bit and went into the woods, and we ended up finding another building that had collapsed, but we didn't even think that there were going to be any buildings back there because there weren't any trails or anything. So it was really fun to explore because you just kept finding things that you didn't think were there. And then the picture on the right is the manager's house again. So as you can see, we went up to the top level, sort of there a little bit. And then on the left, we found a little, I think it was a well of some sort. And that was pretty cool to see too. So a lot of these buildings didn't have markings to say what they were or not, but it was really fun just, I don't know, having an adventure and seeing what was out there. And I think that this would be a really cool place for the people from ICPC to come check out, because it deals with mining, and Black Hills has a very rich history of mining and adventure and, you know, finding new places and cool places. So this would be a fun thing for them to do, and it's a really easy place to find as well. So, you guys have any questions?
Did you find the grave when you went?
No, we didn't. There was a lot of snow on the ground, so we couldn't see a lot of what was on the ground. Have you been there before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently someone was murdered over a mining thing there, and
Oh, okay.
so there's like a couple rocks around the grave, and then a fairly recent gravestone. They might have replaced it. It says I can't remember his name, but he's killed like 1927 or something like that.
Okay.
Over a mining thing.
Gotcha. Sarah?
Did you guys have any ghostly encounters while you were there, or was it like during the day so nothing creepy happened?
I was gonna ask.
Well, actually,
I mean, I guess can I ask you a little more generally? Are places like this, are there any hauntings associated with them?
At least from my research, I didn't find anything. I know that they have ghost tours. Like if you go to Keystone, I don't know if they have any in Custer. Deadwood has a few ghost tours as well. But no, we didn't really have any ghost encounters. But right here, I want to say this was a pantry of some sort. But when we were in here, my friend climbed up to the top and threw in a rock, and we thought it was like something really freaky, and I screamed and jumped, but yeah.
So it's a place to pretend there, I guess.
Yeah. Yes.
Is there like some place where you could like go camping for a night or something?
You could. In the Watchman's house, it's a lot nicer. And actually, my good friend that I was with suggested that we go camping in the Watchman's house one night. But it's a fairly open area, and I'm sure you could go camping there. You would have to see if it's part of the Black Hills National Forest, because I know that they have certain laws on where you can and cannot camp. But if it's part of the Black Hills National Forest, you can camp anywhere for 15 days. So.
Every